What's up, guys? Welcome back to Red Hark Ranch. It's late. My lighting is crap, but I wanted to talk to you about two things. One, I wanted to, right off the rip, like, sourdough is not hard if you don't make it hard. I've had 3 people over the last couple days ask me about sourdough, and I wanted to show you, well, I kind of wanted to walk you through a recipe that I use that's tried and true that is not hard. And I work a full-time job and I'm still able to make sourdough through the week, like a daily loaf that we use for everything through the week. Okay, I'm gonna try and get through this. That light was like reflecting off my glasses. The lighting in here is terrible, so I'm just gonna try and bust this out. But I wanted to tell you about this recipe that I use. It's from Farmhouse on Boone. Now, I went and looked for it the other day and I couldn't find it. So I don't know if maybe, I don't know if she took it down. I don't know if I wasn't looking in the right place. But it's a sourdough sandwich bread recipe, and I printed it off when I found it. But if you can find one that is super simple, and typically Lisa on Farmhouse on Boone does everything kind of simple because she's got a lot of kids, she cooks a lot of food, and she really tries to focus on making sure that her family has good food and it doesn't take her necessarily all day, there's my oven preheating, to make it. So I've had 3 people ask me about sourdough in the last couple days and were saying how it looks so daunting, it just seems so difficult, how do you keep up with it, blah blah blah. I work a full-time job. I know if I'm not going to use my sourdough, it goes in the fridge. This is Dorothy. This is Dorothy, my sourdough. If I'm not going to use her, she goes in the fridge. If I know I'm going to use her, she stays on the counter. So last night, while I was making dinner, I whipped up a batch of chocolate graham crackers from a discard. So I wanted to use my discard, get rid of as much as I could, refeed, because I knew I was planning on making bread. So last night before I went to bed, I made my discard crackers, which you don't have to do. You can just put your discard in a container, put it in the fridge, use it later, or put it in a container or throw it away. Whatever, I mean, you do you. But I knew I wanted to make something with my discard. I knew I was going to make bread. So before I went to bed last night, I fed Dorothy. This morning, whenever I woke up, I threw everything in my KitchenAid mixer that goes to this recipe, which I'll find this recipe and I'll link it down below so you can find it. Threw everything in my KitchenAid, cranked it on, mixed it together, took it off the KitchenAid, left it sit on the counter with a wet tea towel over top of it all day, and I went to work. Came home, separated my loaves, put them in my loaf pans, went about my day. I went and fed horses, I went and AI'd a pig, I went and picked up my mom, we went for a little ride, talked to my mother-in-law. We had the rest of my evening. It was like 2 hours. Came back, my oven's preheating now, which right now it's 9:44. Probably could have done this a little bit sooner, but like I said, we had a lot going on. Ignore my dogs in the background. So, separated my loaves, and now I'm making bread. And this bread is going to go in the oven right now, cook for 45 minutes, and then I'm going to go to bed. And in the morning, I have fresh bread, and I can put it in a bag. Typically, if I keep my loaves small enough, I try to put them in like a Ziploc bag. It's good for about 3 days on the counter. But we don't need a ton of sourdough bread. We don't need a ton of bread in general. So what I usually do is I will keep one out fresh and take the other one and shove it in the freezer, and that way I have fresh bread later. But sourdough is not hard. It does not have to be hard if you don't make it hard. You just have to look at your recipe, evaluate your hours, see when you have to feed, and go from there. 9 times out of 10, I'll make these 2 loaves of bread, and then I'll stick Dorothy, my sourdough, in the fridge, and I won't touch her for a week. because life is busy. And I'll pull her back out, feed her again, and she will be perfectly fine. So, hey, sourdough does not have to be difficult. Sorry about my dogs. If you don't make it difficult. It just takes, it's like a little bit of a learning curve that it'll take you a minute to try and figure it out, and then once you get it, you get it. And you can kind of time out your recipes according to your day and go from there. The other thing I wanted to show you is Roots and Refuge is doing a collab about tried and true books, because the internet is throwing out a lot of AI recipes, and you can't trust everything you see on the internet. I mean, we all know that. So I wanted to show you a couple of my books that I love. One is very loved. The first one is Preserving the Harvest from Anne. I don't know how to say the beginning part of her last name, but it's Anne something Scott. But I follow her on Instagram and on YouTube, and I've seen that she's been speaking in a lot of things. But I have a couple of her recipes that I've tried that I have marked, and they're really good. Like, she explains everything. This is what you're growing. This is how you can preserve it. It's really easy to follow along with. This is a good one. So I'm going to put links to all these down in the comments too, so you can get to it. This one, I don't know if it would even still be on the internet. I'm going to try and find it. This one was my grandma's. This is Home Remedies from Amish Country. And whenever she passed away, I actually found this book and started looking through it, and she has some things marked, like this is a page, what to do for bladder infections and stomach upset or strep throat. So these are just like home remedies, things that, you know, you can do at home if you get sick. The next one is Amish Baking, traditional recipes for bread, cookies, cakes, and pies. And this one's really good, and it's got such good pictures. I don't have my glasses on because of the glare, so I really don't know if you can see this, but look at that pecan pie. I mean, the pictures are great. This is I picked this one up at Tractor Supply, but I will see if I can find a link for you. This is from the editors of Good Books, is where this one came from. This one I got. This one is loved. This is book. I've had this book for over 10 years. This is Cooking with the Horse and Buggy People. Goodness, this book was like, I mean, it has a Farmerstown shoe and gift is where I got it. But I have a boatload of tabs, marked coffee cakes, zucchini cakes. There's regular recipes. It's not all just, you know, sausage gravy, vanilla French toast. Some of these are just, I don't know if any of you, around here, we have Amish country. Amish country is what they call like Berlin, Ohio. There's Peoria. A couple of the areas around here have a lot of Amish people. And if you've never eaten food in an Amish community, do it. It is so good. Like next level good. So I got this one about, I think I want to say I got this 15 years ago, and my dog got a hold of it, but I refused to get rid of it. But yeah, so I will try and tag this one. And this one's actually from Ohio. 207 Amish women of Holmes County, Ohio. And that's the next county over. So, yeah, I will tag this one. So those are my 4 favorite books. I don't really have a whole lot. I think I have one book in there that's like Instapot recipes or crockpot recipes, but I can't say that I do a whole lot in the Instapot or the crockpot. I maybe have 2 like not signature, but like 2, you know, good meals that I do in the Instapot, and I do chili, ham, green beans, and potatoes in the crockpot. Not a whole lot. So those are my favorites. I really hope that you enjoy them. I'll try and link them below. I know my video quality is crap. It's now 10 till 10 at night and I have to work tomorrow. So I just wanted to jump on here. I'm going to bake this bread, get it in the oven, and have it for breakfast in the morning because I love it. And I hope you guys have a great day and enjoy your weekend. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for learning with us, and we'll see you next time.